Welcome to Harry's Hook. I am a journalist, big fan of boxing. I've written published articles on it. I also train and spar. February 22nd is the most stacked boxing card in recent memory. And at the top of the ticket, Artur Beterbiev and Dmitry Bivol, the two very best boxers at 175 pounds, fight once more after a razor-close contest to decide which light heavyweight reigns supreme. In today's video, I'm going to preview the bout, talk about the boxers, analyze some critical moments from their first fight, discuss X factors that could determine the outcome, and then ultimately give my prediction. We begin with the undisputed champ, Artur Beterbiev. He's 40 years old and has a 21-0 record with 20 knockouts. He stands about 5'11", carrying a 73-inch reach. Beterbiev is a calculating pressure fighter who often uses a ramrod jab and sneak attacks to close the distance and unleash his iron fists. Dmitry Bivol is 34 years old, and he has a record of 23-1 with 12 knockouts. He stands 6 feet tall and carries a 72-inch reach. Bivol is a modern paragon of the Soviet style of boxing, a master of distance and timing who uses advanced footwork, an active lead hand, and quick combos to control the range and pace of a fight. One key way Bivol dictates a bout is through his excellent jab. Nearly 2/3 of all the punches he fires are jabs. I've said this before, that's the highest ratio in championship level boxing. And that's how he controlled the first 3 rounds of his bout with Beterbiev, capitalizing on his superior quickness to counter many of Artur's jabs, smartly intercepting Beterbiev's lunging jabs, and utilizing lateral traps by using his footwork to prevent Beterbiev from establishing a solid base and firing when Artur advanced. But we can see in the stats, Bivol's jab activity plummeted after round 3. This also coincides with Beterbiev ratcheting up his own pressure and activity. Let's talk about that pressure because there's a fascinating way that Beterbiev blitzes his opponents. Sometimes he cuts off the ring quite well. Other times he follows closely as opposed to cutting off. And on many occasions, he lunges his way in. But when Beterbiev turns up the heat, he throws flurries of touch shots, probing and battering the guard. As opponents try to escape laterally, he shifts stances, allowing him to stay in their grill while continuing the onslaught of punches. It's absolutely suffocating. Let's jump to the 7th round because it was a key moment in the fight. Leading into it, we heard Beterbiev's corner trying to amp him up.
You're not tired. Come on, man. Come on.
Remember who you are.
Nobody can beat you, man.
Now second part of the fight. Round 7. Let's go.
He had a decent start to the round, pumping his jab and landing a cross downstairs. But then Bivol countered Beterbiev's jab, first by parrying, then firing a sharp right, eliciting a nod of approval from Artur. Later in the round, again Bivol counters a Beterbiev jab by parrying and shooting across, but Artur dampens the blow by tucking his head and partially getting his glove in there. But Bivol is one step ahead and follows up with a heavy hook that rocks Beterbiev. Dmitry's got that warrior in him and seizes the opportunity, but he gets a bit overzealous. Beterbiev stays composed and counters with a right that loads up his left shoulder for a power jab that instantly shifts the momentum and leads to a Beterbiev rally, which I think boosted his confidence more than any pep talk by Mark Ramsey. The 9th round was also important, this time for Dmitry. He had just finished the 8th by getting the better of a furious exchange and carried that momentum into the 9th. At times in this round, it was Bivol pressuring Beterbiev, forcing him to fight off the back foot. He was also mixing his targets upstairs and downstairs. He sat down more on his punches. At times, he held the center of the ring and made his physical presence known on the inside. It was a Dmitry Bivol tour de force. Then, of course, there was round 11. Beterbiev had a huge rally that, to my eye, was kicked off by a solid power jab. While on the attack, he did a nice job using his forearms to both prevent clinches and pin Bivol's guard. He varied his assault and punished the body. Bivol was looking for answers and tried smothering Beterbiev's offense, but it didn't really work. To Dmitry's credit, he seemed to recover and started throwing back by the time the bell rang, but it was the most dominant round of the fight. Now, I had picked Beterbiev to win their first bout, but by the end of the fight, I wasn't totally sure that he'd get his hand raised. While he won a majority decision, I don't blame anyone who argues the win for Bivol. It was a competitive fight. But will the rematch be different? I believe we're going to have a more definitive answer this go-around. But in order to solve an equation, you got to figure out the variables. Time. I'm dying. Oh, God. X factors. It's X factors. I'm good. Oh, okay. I'm good. X factors. Beterbiev's knee. Last time they fought, he was just a handful of months removed from surgery to repair a torn meniscus. Now, I've said Beterbiev's legs looked pretty good during their first fight, but he may just have a strong poker face. Yeah, he wasn't hobbling, but with more time for the knee to heal, maybe it'll be easier for Artur to sit down on his power. Perhaps his movement will be more spry. Could we see more level changes and body shots? Better road work leading into the bout, therefore providing him a deeper gas tank. Perhaps with more time for the knee to heal, we'll see a tangible difference. Perhaps we won't, but it's an X factor. We got to talk about Bivol's mindset leading into the rematch.
Today I want not only just belts, I want a revenge.
In the first bout, Bivol at times would stand his ground and scrap, even push Beterbiev back, but he also displayed a lot of movement during various stretches and would go on the defensive. Dmitry has indicated that this bout is going to be different. He said he has to throw more punches and not shell up in his guard as much. I think there's some real value to that strategy because Beterbiev, he thrives off of backing his opponents up. But I think that pressing him back, making him fight off the back foot, is a key ingredient to beating him. Easier said than done, but Bivol had some success with that tactic. Plus, it looks better to the judges. But of course, more punches and more aggression provides more opportunity for Beterbiev to counter. And he's shown the ability to do that, thanks to his experience and timing. Father Time, you knew I was going to say it, but Beterbiev is 40, okay? 40. Humans age, right? Now, have we seen any signs of this aging? Hard to tell. Beterbiev looked winded at times in their last bout, especially between the 7th and 8th. But his gas tank looks solid in the championship rounds. Anyway, I brought up Beterbiev's age in various videos. The bottom line, whatever decline he's having, it's gradual, because the man maintains peak physical condition. While I don't have real reason to think that age will affect him more in this fight than it did 4 months prior, we can see a fairly sudden drop-off when boxers hit their 40s, so it's an X factor. But what is it they say? Power is the last thing to go, and despite Bivol's excellent defense and robust durability, he most certainly felt the raw punching power of Artur Beterbiev. A solid power jab was enough to kick off a rally for Beterbiev and put Bivol on the defensive. You could also tell by Bivol's bruised countenance after the battle, and even his left hand was swollen up from blocking those bricks. So while Bivol proved he has elite durability, the power of Beterbiev is straight up concussive, and even if it doesn't stop Bivol, it'll leave him banged up and possibly injured. Let's make our way to a verdict, but first, if you enjoy this content, come on, do me a solid. Like this video, and if you want to stay updated on my latest analysis, commentary, live streams, subscribe to the channel. I'm intrigued by the possibility of Bivol taking a more aggressive approach here, right? Because Beterbiev, his chin has been cracked before, and in my opinion, Bivol has underrated power. Plus, he showed he has the toughness, durability, stamina, physical strength to implement this strategy. He can box and be active, let his quicker hands beat Artur to the punch, then clinch and physically push Beterbiev back if need be. Utilize that left hook in particular, which seemed to be his most damaging power blow in their bout that rocked Beterbiev at one point. However, there's also a part of me that feels like that last fight that was Bivol's best opportunity to beat Beterbiev. Artur was coming off knee surgery, and Dmitry had an excellent performance, yet he wasn't awarded the close decision. He walked the tightrope, but still didn't get the victory. Now he has to walk the tightrope all over again, and we damn well may see a more spry Beterbiev with a recovered knee. Bivol could try to initiate more clinches, but Beterbiev used his forearms well to create space for his offense. And as far as age, it is a concern, but I'd be more concerned if it was more than a 4-month interval between the two fights, and if Beterbiev weren't such a genetic freak and didn't take such great care of himself. Plus, he has the kind of style that can age decently well, as we've seen to this point. Both fighters have had 12 rounds to analyze one another, but it was Beterbiev who was coming on strong in the championship rounds, and I think he has more room to improve upon his performance. One example is if he attacks the body earlier and more consistently, Bivol will be in trouble. Ultimately, I still have to see Beterbiev lose in order to believe it. And with more time for his knee to recover, and a potentially more risky strategy employed by Bivol, I have Artur winning via late stoppage, though due to Bivol's defense and durability, I could see it going to the cards. And that right there is Harry's hook. Let me know what you think in the comments. Who do you have winning? And be sure to check out my other Beterbiev vs. Bivol 2 content. I'll be live streaming my commentary on fight day, but I may only get the co-main and the main because I can't get off work earlier.